Welcome back. When we started out this show, we talked first of all about the G20. We talked with an international journalist from India, and he was telling us the alliance between India and Russia. Right now, we want to bring the conversation back home by talking to someone else. And to further have this conversation on the G20 is Professor Ake. He is a retired lecturer from the University of Lagos, a former vice rector of the European Peace University in Russia. Hello and welcome to the program. Okay, so, Rashid Ake is...
I don't think he's joined us yet.
He has not joined us yet. Okay, well, education.
Are we going back there?
No, I like it. I just like it. You know, when I'm talking about education, I just like it. Okay, maybe we'll go back. Bayo, you're still on standby, and before Professor Ake joins us, I tried to just call the name education, and Uche was laughing at me. Are we really going back there? With every small opportunity, I just like us to talk about it. Now lecturers will go on strike in the 21st century and all that, and we're not happy about it. But while we're trying to get who we should blame, we should try to also be saying the things that we, the people, could do to contribute to this. Now, Bayo, you said that it is run like a federal university. Even the private universities are run like the federal university. The other day you were talking about an alternative way of running the universities. Please, let's just re-emphasize on that alternative way, how it is done elsewhere.
No, I mean, besides, it's not just how it's done elsewhere. It was how it was even being done in Nigeria before. Our primary schools were largely missionary, owned by the missionaries, whether Muslim missionaries or Christian missionaries. You had the Ahmadiyya, you had the Ansaruddin, you had Sumratu, you had Jibril Martins, you had the Baptists, you had the Anglicans, you had the Catholics, you had the Methodists. They owned 90% of the primary schools. So the kind of teaching you got in the primary school prepared you, disciplined you, and equipped you. Okay? And that was the foundation.
So
today, we have forgotten about the primary.
Why the drastic change?
In other words, the foundation. We are all concentrating on universities. Everybody wants to build so if we're focusing on the universities and the foundation is already wrong, and for me, this is why I say I'm, quite passionate when we talk about education, because when I look at it all the time, we have not repaired the foundation. You cannot change somebody who is 19 or 20 and getting into the university, or 17 and 18. So for me, the missionaries, and I mentioned that people should not get me wrong, Christian and Muslim missionaries, in my opinion, need to go back and invest in primary education. That is the foundation. Secondly, we need to begin to specialize. And that's why I say it's beyond ASU. You see, ASU strike now and again is just a symptom of what is in the collective interest, largely of academics, and peripherally in the interest of the institutions and the students. Okay? And ASU is a trade union. It has a legitimate right to better the interest of its members. I don't grudge them. But I'm saying if we want to really improve education, every Nigerian has a role to play. Every stakeholder, every interest group has a role to play. And I think this is how we can correct it. Because if we just keep looking at...
Just a moment. I'm really interested in the part you talked about, this structure being the same. Now that the deed has been done more or less, before we go back to the roots where we can revamp the roots and make sure that education becomes better because everybody has a good foundation. You talked about missionaries and, like you said, whether I'm Christian or Muslim, running the university, there are private universities, the same way the federal government runs it. You have a visitor
Yes.
who is maybe the president or a governor or something like that.
Exactly.
And you give alternative that in other places, they don't do it like this. So that's
true.
what I'd like you to re-echo so that
That's true.
we know that they are getting it wrong.
Can you still hear me? I think
Yes, we can still hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
you can hear me. Okay, so what I meant then was, and just for the benefit to clarify to the viewers, you see, if you take, say, I graduated from the University of Ibadan, so let me use University of Ibadan as an example. Federal University. The president of Nigeria is a visitor to the university because the federal government funds the University of Ibadan, as it funds all federal universities. Okay? Now, the missionaries copied the same structure. The visitor to the university is the president or the leader of the religious body which owns the university. Okay? And I think this is not the right approach. We know this institution is owned by which religious body. We already know that. But how can you provide a sustainable way of running that institution outside of depending on members of that religious body every time you need money? So this is the point I'm making. A university should be doing research. It should be able to attract funds for research from all the relevant bodies. It should not be depending on its owners. Okay? And because it cannot charge students for all of the funding that it needs to run, it needs to charge modest fees while looking for alternative sources of funding. And the ideal situation in many countries today is to make an alumnus of the university president of the university, or give him a title or her a title.
Okay.
And it's this alumnus who mobilizes funding for that institution.
Okay, but Bayo, just a moment. I like the train of thoughts, but we have our guest now standing by. Let's see how much we can get from him in the short time that we have right now. Professor Rashid Akinyemi is standing by, a retired lecturer from UNILAG and former vice rector of the European Peace University in Russia. Welcome to the program, Professor.
Professor, can you hear us? Okay, I think
he will be providing a perspective, the Nigerian perspective, or the Nigerian lessons to the G20.
Yeah.
We talked with the Indian who told us how they are doing, what their role is and all that. I'm interested in what kind of stand he feels Nigeria should take, because India has taken a stand that even if they're not providing the weapons and the financing and all that, they will not be a part of some of the things that the West is proposing. Should Nigeria do that? Are we strong enough? so I know, right? Okay, Professor Akinyemi will be answering that as soon as he's able to join us. But while we wait for Professor Akinyemi, there's something also on the internet now that is really making me happy. I'm not saying it's bringing the dollar down. I'm not saying it's making bread cheaper, but the doorsteps of our Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and he said, own your achievements. So the little things that you achieve, just own it and booga to it as far as you can. So,
is this a moment of motivation?
Well, more or less. More or less. When you see someone rejoicing, someone at that point celebrating, because apart from dancing to the song, he also is celebrating the person who did the song. So if you give that kind of recognition to one of your own, and then you also acknowledge the fact that it's a good thing that the person did, I think it's something to be happy
Is that what the young Nigerian needs right now? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to kill the joy, right? But then these are the same young persons that are harassed for having dreadlocks and wearing ripped jeans, and for expressing our creativity, which he was dancing to. And till this moment, I'm sorry, a lot of people in the right quarters haven't really come out to say anything about this brutality that young persons have faced. And you're at a conference and you're dancing booga, and we're supposed to be clapping for you. Oh, please.
Okay. Well, there are two things to this. The celebration of the person who did it and his generation. And two, if that is not the celebration, to say, Nto, you didn't do anything for us. But so either way, anyhow you see it, I still like it. So it's either because he celebrated us, or even in spite of not being able to do, those people that should not being able to do what they should do, we are still doing things that you can use and be proud somewhere. So let's just watch this video where our vice president was dancing to the Buga song that has made waves all around.
Ake, I'm sure you all know Ake. Who knows Ake? Who sings it? I know all these old folks. I can see you all. There's no way you're going to know. But we'll teach you. Ashake who sings in Pidgin English. Of course, you know they sang the song, Organize. Every other day I organize. Some of us are wise. Every other person overwise. You don't know the song. Anyway, so this song is saying, organize. Organize. Every other day I organize. Some of us are wise. Every other person overwise. So the song ridicules those who think they're too smart. I know there's so many people who think they're smarter than everybody else. So this song is saying, come on, we're all wise, we're all smart. Don't ever think that you're smarter than everybody else. Now, these are street slangs. These songs are street slangs in Lagos and perhaps in some other urban parts of Nigeria. But the world loves them. And this particular artist, Ashake, in his show at the O2 Arena in Brixton in the UK, sold out to an international audience in less than 5 minutes.
Okay, I see what he was trying to do in that video, but I don't know, maybe because I am of this generation and that's why it's preparing me specially, if I'm to use that word. I would have been more excited if this was a specially organized conference for young creatives in Nigeria, and it would be more exciting for me to know that, okay, these people are very, critical or very particular about this industry in Nigeria that has brought us so much positivity, that has brought us so much good, so much fun, so much love. I mean, this pack of, can I finish, please? Can I finish?
Mama generation,
this
finish.
Pack of young Nigerians. I mean, he mentioned Ashake. Ashake has been on top 100 Niger hit on Apple Music for as long as I can remember, over 5 months, almost getting to 6 months now. He keeps churning out great hit songs. Okay, so it's a good thing to know he follows these people. He follows the Nigerian music. He follows the industry. What are they doing about it? I mean, they don't think that the industry is good enough to be paid special attention to.
Can you allow the older generation talk now?
Without the support of the government, the entertainment industry in Nigeria has continued to thrive, has continued to flourish. Imagine what we can do when we have you people's backing.
Okay, there's a fear to that. There's another part to that. All the things that the government has put their hands to support didn't quite succeed.
Which is why we actually probably...
So maybe the independence that this entertainment industry enjoys is what has given it what the pride of place it has right now. So while we say government should have supported, we also see that sometimes government brings some clocks that need not be there. Look at the movie industry, look at a music industry, look at all the industry, even the tech that the government has not really supported. They're the ones that are flourishing and making Nigeria proud. Now, the fact that we thought that these people don't even know, okay, you thought that these people don't even notice you, it has been debunked now. It has shown that they know, even if they are feigning ignorance. Thirdly, it's a good thing. What other place can you sell a generation, an industry, or a people than the United Nations World Trade Organization?
I'm an Igbo girl,
So,
and in Igbo language there is something we say.
Let me finish.
We say "Okamaniro." Do you know what that means? It means you go outside and everything is fine, but when you come home, it's scattered. That is how I see what just happened.
Yeah, but
in that video.
But on the other side, on the flip side, if you have to fight as a family, you fight indoors. When you go outside, you are united and you fight the outside enemy.
I would rather you go outside and keep quiet. Don't say anything. Come home and fight.
That's not how it works.
I'm sure Bayo has something to say about this. Bayo, please.
Bayo, help me out.
Abi's me.
Help me out. How would you say that a family should fight inside, go outside, keep quiet?
Bayo, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, we're having a fight. Before we wrap it up, so what the Vice President did, he went to the United Nations World Trade Organization and spoke about our artists, sang their songs, interpreted some of them, and danced to some of them. And we can't seem to agree. Uche said, because of how negligent they have been on those sectors that also involve the youths, he shouldn't have done that. And
I'm saying
that it's better than nothing. So just separate the fight, as it were.
I think that the government has actually done well. Now, Uche is not going to agree with me, but let me try to defend my position. The government came up with a policy that says for every 10 videos you play on Nigerian television, or for every 10 musical CDs you play on a Nigerian radio station, 6 must be Nigerian. This was in the early 2000s. That policy was what led to the emergence of what you find today as entertainment in Nigeria. I remember I was presenting a TV program at the time, and that policy was what actually helped my TV program to get on air. Because otherwise, our TV stations at the time were largely screening foreign content. Our radio stations were largely playing foreign content. It was that policy by the National Broadcasting Commission, which is an arm of government, that resulted in the emergence of what you have today.
All right.
So government has done something. Just because we have run out of time, actually.
I stop there.
Bottom line is that government has done something, but the youths that own the industry have done better without the government.
And we'll have more time to have this conversation.
All right, we wrap it up today. From me, Nyamgul Agaji, I'd like to say let's do it again tomorrow. Bye for now.
And I am Uche Chukwu Onodu. Stay watching Plus TV.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Bye.